Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play RGFX Kaiserreich as the Sultan Neige. Let's continue on from where we left off. So, it is almost 1938, which means we're almost to the point where we're going to be going to war with the Ottoman Empire with the help of Egypt and Iran. But we still got to do a little bit of setup. We need to try to get as many... Oh, Syria declared their independence. Huh. Assyria. I don't think there's really anything we can do to save you, unfortunately. It'd be nice if we could. I just don't think it's going to be viable, right? Well, raid Qatar. I mean, it's like I could send them volunteers. But aside from that, I mean, probably, how many troops could we even send? One? Yeah. I don't think one division would really be enough to swing the tide of the battle there, unfortunately. The plan is to now declare war on the Qing, but you might see the Chinese United Front form. It has been a while since I've actually seen that faction show up in game. I'm guessing the Qing are doing very, very well against the defending government. We'll see kind of how the situation in China plays out into the future. Okay, so it's like defending government had joined up with the Crows with Barity Sphere. Qing are still just fighting Japan by themselves, but of course Japan is going to want to influence all of China if they get the opportunity to do so. And Assyria is dead. Again, unfortunately, there really wasn't much we can actually do to save them. Let's raid Baghdad while we're here. But we need to try to get our military forces to be as powerful as they possibly can for the war. I mean, right now, we're capped at 9 out of 9. You can maybe improve that by going up to war economy. Problem with that, I mean, it's only a factory division bonus. And we have 2 factories. So I'm not too sure if this really provides any real benefit. Is it rounding up or is it rounding down? Okay. 1 from population, 10% non-core states, 9 from our own states. Personalization's at 20 uncapped total. The total provided was lower than the number of owned states, stats used instead. So industrial modifiers at 50.3. Uncapped total is 6. I mean, I think the only way we can get more troops is to get more states. And I don't know if there's really anything we can do to get more states at the moment. We're ready to head Jazz for now. All we can really do is try to make our units here better. They're already 20 combat with, but if we were to throw in some artillery there... I mean, we don't make artillery, do we? No, of course we don't, because we have no factories for anything. So where's our military? We got military factories here. We got military factories here. I guess we really should be rushing down reverse engineering, armament plans, and getting the Arsenal of Arabia. 3 military factories, like, quadruples our industrial output. We kind of need to do that. So once you're done today, you are a weapon shipment from Germany. We'll take the reverse engineering for now. We need the guns. We need the guns. We also have political power. We'll use that to... Production cost minus 10% as well as breakthrough. We need Sauger. We don't have. We can have generic. Do you give us that event? We might get that from weapons acquisition, so maybe we'll wait a moment on you. Well, I guess we'll take the destruction speed bonus. We have no factories actually being used to build here because we have 1 factory being used to trade steel, which we kind of need, or else we can't make anything. Wait, do we need the steel? Now I'm immediately changed my mind because we have, how many guns do we have? 10,000 rifles. We probably actually don't need to be importing this steel. Like, we're going to take a big hit to our production, but it allows us to maybe build up a single factory. It won't be done until 1941. So like, what is that? 3.5 years from now? Maybe it's actually not worthwhile at all. Is there anything cheaper we can build? Because I know you're, what, like 10,000? 10,800 production cost. We could build like an air base. We can build some very, very basic land forts on the border. So you know what? That might actually be a better use of our time, because we can actually maybe build at least a handful of them before the war starts. The invitation to the Third Arab Congress, organization of Egyptian government in Cairo. The Third Arab Congress plans to unite all Arab struggles and determine the direction it needs to go in. With much of the Mashriq still suffering under the rule of Sublime Porte, and the Arabs of the Maghreb living under the French slave state, it's clear that we are the only independent Arab powers, that we as the only independent Arab powers need to combine our strengths to strive for the liberation of our brethren. Okay, Egypt, me and you can be friends. Iran has sent a delegation. Despite not receiving an invitation to the conference in protest of the treatment of the considered Arabs under the new government, Iran decided to send a delegation to Cairo. A protest in the streets of Cairo, organized by Iraqi political exiles and with support of the Ittihad Party, was unable to deter Sultan Farrokh I, who stressed the importance of Islamic solidarity in these trying times. After a short kerfuffle, the delegation was granted a seat at the table in hopes of encouraging an open debate. Why do I lose political power from that? Make any sense? Not that I really need the political power. We'll take our construction speed bonus. Let's raid Damascus for now. How many of our guns are from the Ottoman Empire? About 75% of the arsenal. Most of our guns come from the Ottomans right now. How many, 35 to 52. You got a pretty decent army at the moment. Idris I has arrived in Cairo. Leader of the Sensei Order and opponent of the Ottoman-backed Ahmed Sarfat I, the exiled Idris has arrived in Cairo. Backing the Entente during the Wildkrieg struggle on Libyan ground, the leader of the Senseian Order was forced to flee in Egypt. Italian front collapsed. By many Libyans, he is, however, seen as a legitimate ruler of the nation, and over the years he has steadily been preparing resistance cells for his return. True hero for sure. You got 26 days until you're ready to go. We can steal, we can ignore, and a delegation from Syria takes the floor. Representing the secret organizations of Beirut and Damascus, a variety of political exiles from the greater Syrian region have attended the conference to attack Ottoman practices in their native home. The Palestinian issue featured most prominently in their speeches, as they see a continued existence of the MOJ, a slap on the face of Muslims across the world. Syria has been freed from Turkish tutelage, which serves nothing but the treasury of Umlahed II. Less radicalized speakers were also given the floor. Even with Mezrite Arabs allowed to give their say on the matter, preaching a dialogue between the various peoples of the greater Syrian region, and even considering an arrangement with the Jewish settlers, the debate became quite heated. A representative from Jaffa threw his sandal at a colleague from Aleppo. Short recess was announced with the perpetrator removed from the room. Okay, we support the Syrian people. I don't know, like, what's Iraq going to do? But again, it would be nice if Iraq rose up at the same time. Okay, delegation from Iraq. After the Speaker of Jerusalem finished his speech about the threat from the Zionism poses upon us all, the floor was granted to the delegation from Iraq. Announcing their support for the brethren in Palestine, they urged the people in the room not to ignore the second threat to the Arab people. The Iranian nation was trying to paint itself as a friend of the Arabs, but goes on without saying it only does so to weaken its rivals in Anatolia and exploit the Iraqi Arabs after the sands have settled. Before the representative from Mosul could finish his speech over, the Iranian delegation rose up to protest against their accusations. Should we not focus on a common enemy instead of creating new ones before the first one had been dealt with? Temperature in the room for the second time rapidly started rising. Another brief recess was announced. Free and Arab Iraq. Yeah, because they want this territory here in Khuzestan. And Ghazi bin Fawzi attends the conference. Son of Arab hero Fawzi bin Hussein, who commanded the Hashemite forces during the revolt of 1916, Ghazi bin Fawzi was sent to Egypt in 1920 by his grandfather Sarif Hussein when the Ottoman troops marched into Mecca. Taken under the wing of Fahd I, the shy and inexperienced boy became a rallying point for Hashemite sympathizers who fled Hejaz when the Ottoman Wali was installed. Used to a life of luxury at the Egyptian court, his various escapades published in the newspapers, many Hejazis see him as delusioned and removed from his political realities of the region. His calls for the second Hijazi revolt in an Arab state stretching from Mecca to Baghdad was very passionate and only briefly interrupted by a poem he wrote to honor his father, have been almost entirely disregarded by the other representatives. When his speech was finally over, all representatives clapped politely. Yeah, so nobody's taking him seriously. Not even a little bit. Okay, let's raid Basra. And Farrokh I condemns the Zionist settlers. After hearing the tragic announcement of Palestinian Arabs suffering at the hands of the international gerrymandering, and seeing the latest data on Jewish immigration, Sultan Farrokh I finally took the stage. Condemning the vile deeds of his brothers of the faith had to endure, he promised the Syrian delegation his full support and promised that the Palestinian people would soon be liberated. A grand applause followed when all representatives gave him a standing ovation. News of his speech was received less well by the significant Jewish community in Egypt itself. These Jews, who who enjoy fairly good living conditions and political freedoms on the Egyptian state, are now afraid that this open attack on Jewish menace in Palestine could send shockwaves in their direction. Right, 80 political power now. And Idris pleads for help. After the speech of Farouk I, the conference was taking a different turn. The charade of cultural conference to celebrate the Arab people has been replaced with an open discussion on actions to be undertaken against those that threaten the Arab people. The exiled Libyan leader Idris I has been building up support for well over a decade, with the Ottoman garrison in Libya becoming careless in heating political debates overtake the capital. He plans to strike within a year and oust Ahmed Sheriff I. Hearing all kind of passionate words from the other representatives, it's now time to turn these into guns, manpower, and donations to ensure his struggle is successful. You support Idris? I have like 10,000 guns I've stolen from the Ottoman Empire. I'll definitely give it to him. Question is, do I need to send on... I'm going to send 2 units. And I'm going to send 1 troop down here. Just for right now. And Egypt announces its goals. Representatives from all corners of the Arab world brought together from Cairo, Egypt, has finally dropped the curtain on its grand designs. Promoting self-governance among the Arab states, they'll strive to retain the various constitutions of Arabia as individual units that can decide their own whether to join a larger Arab state. Representatives from Iraq, Syria, and Hejaz are pleased with what they retain the right to determine their future, but on the peninsula, enthusiasm is far less high. Not only would they see no rewards for their participation in the war, but furthermore, they would have to contest with a powerful Hejazi state. So we're a little bit upset with this. We don't want them having all independence. We want them all united under our banner. And Iran has left the conference. But the final resolution of the conference seems to imply an independent Iraq, free from Iranian influence. The Iranian delegation has left in anger. Whether this will impact their decision to take part in the war with the Sublime Porte, or, Allah forbid, take the Turkish side remains unclear, but has left a sour taste. I don't believe Iran can join up with the Ottoman Empire. Right? Like, I've never seen that. So I'm pretty sure they can't join them. The matter of socialist support. Through the contacts of the Arab lobby in Paris and the cautious cooperation between the Commune and Egypt following the Suez Crisis, many have started to wonder which degree the Arab cause should be linked with that of the Internationale. The Internationale, which profits directly from the rising Arab dissent in Algeria and the threat of the movement posed to a German ally in Anatolia, is more than interested in providing military equipment and advisors that guide our efforts. Many fear, however, that there's a cost attached to these through a variety of economic deals closely linked with the oil trade, which has proven to be an important asset in the communist war machine. They see the Arabs being subdued to a new form of imperialism. Furthermore, the socialist rhetoric they sprout is a direct threat to the Arab states, which are built on rich and powerful aristocrats. You get 1 military factory. You know what? I will take the 1 military factory. I was going to say no because I don't want to support those godless heretics. But I kind of need the military factory. Anyway, the conference draws to an end. As the sun sets on the Nile, Farouk I closes the conference with another speech, thanking all representatives for their attendance. It is to all apparent that the formal display of Egyptian power this really was. Heirs from all groups and social standings have come to be awed by the wealth of Egypt and revel in the freedom that a truly independent Arab state provides. Furthermore, Egypt has attempted to unite different groups in the region and push them all towards an ideology favorable to the Egyptian state itself. Okay, let's raid the Trucial states again. I don't know if this 1 division will be able to push out this Ottoman troop. It'd be nice if they can, but I'm not going to 100% rely on it. And we're now maybe can build some artillery. We're making 1 a week, which is absolutely dreadful. So, I mean, if our 1 factory... Nah, we'll keep building these. The creation of the Cairo Pact. And close to the final resolution of the conference. There is a promise by all attendants to join arms should any of them end up at war with the Turks. This resolution was the foundation for a military alliance, has been called the Cairo Pact. It marks the creation of the first ever such treaty in a modern Arab history. Yes, we will join the Cairo Pact in due time. Give me the 1 military factory, please and thank you. And for us to join, I think, again, it just has to be Egypt has to be at war with the Ottoman Empire. He's fully independent, at peace with Jamal Shamir, is at war with the Ottoman Empire. They've got to do all of those, I'm pretty sure. And I pledge to support the Cairo Pact, which I definitely have a vested interest in. I'm not going to fight them on my own. And there was immediately a coup d'etat in Cairo. Well, they tried to, but it did not work. And the MOJ has halted further Jewish immigration. Let's raid a seer. Again, I'm not putting troops on this border because I'm pretty sure Hejaz will rise up at some point. My worry is whether or not we are going to need to attack them. I have a feeling we're going to need to attack Hejaz at some point. There's been a general strike in Palestine. May Allah bless their efforts. And we're at 9 out of 9. It would be nice. You know, I will train like 2 divisions. We're not going to deploy them. We're just going to have them training in the background so we can deploy them in the future if we have to. And you have now risen up against the Dutch East Indies. We want to see how well you can maybe succeed against the Dutch. I think we do want you to win. I don't think you can really do anything for us. At least not directly. But you're also another Muslim state, so of course we want to be friendly with you in some regard. There you go. But halfway done with you. Weapon acquisition, we get that done. And then, boom, Arsenal of Arabia. Literacy campaign, are you a research slot? Or your research speed bonus? No, you remove illiterate population. Which is at the 20% research speed debuff. So, I mean, it would be really, really nice to get that debuff removed. What do we need to remove the agrarian economy? Take for more oil... Build universities. You remove archaic economy. Yeah, so your factory output minus 50%, 50% consumer good factory, negative 25 on production efficiency cap. You're not very good. In fact, you're absolutely dreadful. But it's going to take us a while to get all the way down our focus tree to actually making you disappear. Hopefully we do get there at some point, but I'm not going to 100% promise that we'll make our way down to the end of this tree, because again, I do want to go down towards the Saudi Caliphate as soon as the war with the Ottoman Empire is over and we've claimed our territory. On raiding Baghdad. 9,000 rifles. You know what? Boom, go with 2 on those. It looks like Patagonia has won their war. The Argentinian workers have, well, they're going to form Argentina in a moment. Do we need to import steel? We're now at -4. If we're at -4, I think it's okay to do import 1. We can also get the artillery building a little bit faster and place those into our infantry as support lines. And that would be nice. Of course, we do need, I think, 72 artillery pieces, which is going to take about half a year, which is not that bad, but it's not great either. Yes, we're just not going to deploy these units. We can deploy them in the future if we have to, or if we get more maximum support divisions. I would not be surprised if we get some more bonuses once the War of the Ottoman Empire erupts. You might get like a little bit of a bonus there. Similar to what we got when we fought against Jamal Shamir. Okay, Chile joined the Internationale. Anybody else here doing anything? You're still fighting Hungary. Yeah, I mean, you guys joining down here, joining the Internationale, isn't really that impactful. Yeah, the Republicans have won the referendum. The CSA is definitely going to be able to beat the American Union State, at which point they can definitely beat the Pacific states. We might see them cause the ceasefire. And now we don't have any factories to trade. Excellent, excellent. You love to see it. Worker population's not bad. 10 oil. 2 steel, I think, basically is kind of garbage. Because we probably still need to import oil or import steel anyways. But actually, we're not importing anything because now we don't have enough factories. So we kind of need to go to the war economy whenever we can. But I don't know when that will be, just due to the... Well, I mean, it'll be when the war breaks out, obviously, but I don't know when exactly that's going to take place. Because it should be around October, but it might also be like November. I think at the latest it can be even December. But I also think that at least for right now, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So thanks everybody for watching. If you enjoyed, my thumbs up. Not enjoyed, click thumb down. If you want to subscribe, and goodbye.